It is the land of wood and water, a tropical paradise of sand, sea, and sun. But precious as they are, there is more to the island of Jamaica than the bounties of nature. Within its borders are thriving industries, production lines for many of the finest goods and services to grace the world market. Sugar, coffee, and banana were staples of a diverse economic portfolio. Metallic and non-metallic minerals were reservoirs for revenue, and everything from clothing to farming tools was being manufactured. This was the picture of industry and commerce as newly independent Jamaica put on the mantle of nationhood in 1962. It was a time of innovation and creation, as the country produced just about everything its people used and exported the excess.
There weren't many things we weren't manufacturing for ourselves, whether it was cigarettes or windows or doors or, you name it.
For about a decade prior to independence and immediately after, the mining industry emerged as a major contributor to Jamaica's economy. Some of the important minerals that were produced included limestone, gypsum, silica, and marble, but bauxite was the leading earner.
During this period, Jamaica was ranked the world's largest producer of bauxite.
Locally, that translated to significant earnings with, for example, the mining industry, contributing about 14.5% of Jamaica's gross domestic product in 1969, amounting to $124.7 million. By the following year, that had increased to $159.9 million, or 16.8% of GDP.
As the years went by, hostile international conditions, such as a surplus of alumina on the world market and differential pricing policies, saw the sector struggling for survival by the 1980s.
By the 1990s, though, bauxite and alumina mining were on the upswing, but would suffer another setback early in the 21st century, largely due to a global economic crisis. Increasing global demand for aluminium and some key interventions by the government contributed to another recovery for the subsector. Today, Jamaica's overall mining sector has evolved into a highly diverse industry with a myriad of metallic and non-metallic minerals excavated every year. The end of the colonial period saw the birth of the manufacturing industry in Jamaica.
The whole of the Marcus Garvey area, from Spanish Town Road right back down there, the whole of that area was developed for industrial development. And you had a whole lot of factories being developed there, and Jamaica started manufacturing all kinds of things.
The manufacturing sector was protected from imports. So the manufacturing sector in the 60s was booming.
This boom translated to earnings, and by 1970, the manufacturing and processing sector was the second largest contributor to GDP, accounting for approximately $128 million, or 13.5% of the gross domestic product. That same year, the records show close to 1,500 factories in operation, most of them in the manufacturing sector, employing nearly 50,000 persons.
The 70s was the years of great demand and no supply, or very little supply. So actually it was a businessman's dream. Then we went into the 80s, and things were, almost the same. But the government then started the 807 and the CMT in the free zone, where people came and manufacture their goods in the free zone and ship them back.
This opened up a huge market in the garment industry, making it the island's second most valuable export product and a major employer. But this sector would face a serious dip in the 1990s as the North American Free Trade Agreement ushered in significant competition from Mexico. The Kingston Free Zone was also accommodating a range of companies operating in food processing, the services industry, warehousing and manufacturing, raking in significant foreign exchange and export earnings by the 90s.
The world has changed. Jamaica has changed. The circumstances have all changed. And so we've had to adjust and change as we went along. And we have developed new industries that have replaced some of the old industries.
The manufacturing sector has become more diverse and modernized. Processed foods, beverages, chemicals, and other products have emerged. There is also an increase in the production of cosmetics and pharmaceutical products. Jamaica also produces spices and condiments, canned ackee and natural juices, as well as soft drinks, beer, spirits, and liqueurs. Agriculture had been feeding the Jamaican economy long before political independence. By the 1960s, Jamaica was producing chocolate and other products from the cocoa plant, dairy products, banana, yam, and other crops. Two of the most significant crops, however, have been the sugarcane and coffee. In the earliest years of independence, significant work was taking place to secure a consistent supply of high-quality Jamaican coffee. The Coffee Industry Board, set up a decade earlier, took steps to regularize the trade, paying special attention to marketing.
The Coffee Board made sure that whatever was exported from Jamaica was Blue Mountain coffee. The Japanese also became involved with us at that time, and they had an interest purely in Blue Mountain coffee. And as a result of the Coffee Industry Board working along with the Japanese, we re-established our coffee industry. And today we have a good coffee industry.
Today, stakeholders are taking steps to secure more markets for Jamaica's coffee to help the industry grow. Appleton, Bernard Lodge, Frome, Long Pond, Moneymusk, St. Thomas, and Worthy Park were all producers of sugar dating back to the 16th and 17th centuries. Over the last 50 years, the sugar industry has shown signs of inconsistency in output levels.
I can tell you, I remember when the sugar industry in Jamaica was producing 400,000 or 500,000 tons a year, whereas it doesn't produce more than about 150,000 tons today.
In the decades since independence, the sugarcane sector has been impacted by increased competition, higher production costs, outdated machinery, and adverse weather, among other issues. Still, the country continues to produce sugar, and a strategy to create a sustainable privatized sector by 2015 was completed in 2010. This saw the divestment of the sugar factories and the infusion of significant foreign and local investment. The rebirth taking place in sugar and increased production of other crops have contributed to a dynamic agriculture sector, which accounted for 5.8% of Jamaica's gross domestic product in 2010. Employment and revenue are key components of the services sector, and two major players are the tourism and telecommunication sectors.
You can't ignore that we've made tremendous strides in the tourist industry.
In 2010, there was a growth of 3.4% and a 6% contribution to overall GDP, while employment was over 74,000. As the country's second most important foreign exchange earner, employment within the tourism sector goes beyond the borders of hotel compounds. This extends to transportation, restaurants, farms, gift shops, and entertainment, to name a few. Earnings from visitor arrivals peaked at $1.9 billion from 2.7 million visitors in 2009. Meanwhile, the telecommunications sector through investments earned $300 million in 2002.
The service sector has developed enormously in Jamaica, as you know, with the call centers and all of these things, because you have to change according to the times.
The sub-industry took on the challenge to expand and modernize networks while introducing services and adopting emerging technologies. Since the liberalization of the sector in 2000, approximately 461 new licenses have been granted. The services sector accounts for 65% of gross domestic product. With industry, there will always be the need to produce, and with commerce, the need for trade will arise. Now add investment. New business partnerships will be forged. Through agencies such as Jamaica Promotions Corporation, Jamaica Business Development Corporation, and the Jamaica Development Bank, strategic partnerships have been developed to stimulate growth in industry and attract investments. Together with the private sector, these partnerships promise great potential to push Jamaica on a path to economic growth and prosperity.